Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh. With me are my buddies, my co-hosts, Dave, Justin. What is going on, fellas?
What's good?
What's up?
Bring in the enthusiasm as usual. I love it, Dave. I love it, Justin. You guys are awesome. You can follow us on Twitter at Josh Kimmel OUS, at Viking Dave 18, David 18. We have new nameplates, so I don't memorize these things. So Justin, I'm gonna get yours. Yours is easy. I think it's just Justin Bowerly.
It is.
It's very simple. I love it.
Simple.
I love simple and sweet and to the point. And you can follow the show at Finn's Talk Sports Network as well. And all you audio listeners out there, please follow us on YouTube. Last week we had a tremendous showing. Thank you all for clicking that and watching the video. It's probably our highest watched video we've ever had on this network. So felt pretty good. Felt pretty cool. So let's do it again. Before we head on to the mailbag, because that's what we're doing, you guys had some questions and we have some answers. I have some trivia as always, and this one's pretty easy. It's 3 facts and a fib, and this person is Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to give you 4 facts. You got to figure out which one's not true. All right. So I'm going to start off with the first one. Lamar was the first person to win the Heisman coming out of Louisville. I was the quarterback.
So. My bad.
I'm going to read them all.
I got you.
I was the quarterback 3 overall through week 8 last year. Through week 8, I was the quarterback 3 in fantasy. I averaged 59 yards on the ground per game in my career. I've played 70 games. And in 2019, I scored 421.7 fantasy points. Josh's glory years. Nobody's ever topped me until when? If they did. I'm just saying if they did. So no one's ever topped me. I'm still the highest scoring quarterback since 2019. Those are the 4. Which one's not true?
So you had through week 8.
I'm pretty sure he won the Heisman. He was the first one Louisville player, so I think that's true.
He was definitely the first Louisville.
Yes. He was QB 3 overall last year until week 8. He was really good,
question, right? QB 3.
I think so.
Yep,
I think he was QB 3.
Yep, that was one of them.
Something about 70 games.
Oh, 59 rushing yards to 70 a game he's averaging. Honestly, I think it's higher, but that's close.
I mean, he had 2 1,000-yard seasons.
I know. I think it's higher, but I'm not 100% sure.
What was the 4th question?
The 4th statement was, in 2019, Lamar scored 421.7 fantasy points, set records. No other quarterback has scored more ever since 2019. Because I didn't go back. But I did go back a couple years. No one was even close.
You said 421?
I thought somebody passed that.
I'm going to go with
quarterbacks.
I'm going to go with the points, or not the points per game, the rushing yards per game.
That's what I think too. I honestly think it's higher. I think I'm going to go with that one, I guess.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Lamar was the first Louisville person to win a Heisman. That was easy. Yes, he was the quarterback 3 last year going into week 8. Josh Allen and Burrow were ahead of him. So he was freaking awesome. And yes, he averages 59.2 rushing yards a game. That's his career rushing yards per game. Thought it'd be higher too, but you guys got to remember his first year, his rookie year, he didn't Flacco play or somebody play ahead of him, and he came in. Those counts towards his game per yardage, whatever, when he just came in or backed up.
Lame.
Oh, that's
and in 2022, last year, Mahomes finally
somebody passed him. I thought it was Mahomes. I thought that. You literally said nobody's been higher than him. That's what you said.
Because that's a statement, and it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a fact. 3 facts and a lie. That's my lie. I lied.
The way you worded it was wrong, so I wanted to say that's a red flag on you. That's your fault.
Guess what? He barely.
Because I knew. You know what's fun? I honestly was going to say Mahomes. I thought Mahomes passed him, but I was like, the way you're saying it doesn't make sense. Because you said nobody's passed him.
Yeah, nobody's passed him. That's what I said.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody's passed him in points. That's literally a lie.
Learn how to make a statement.
Learn how to figure out when I'm lying.
You're always lying.
Okay, so we have some news. Only one news. I just want to bring this up real quick because he's done this before. Tyreek Hill is under investigation. Again, I guess according to WPLG TV in Miami. Hill allegedly hit a marina employee during a disagreement. Doesn't sound like the Tyreek we know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Miami sports radio show host Andy Slater reported that Hill slapped an employee on the back of the head, but that employee has declined to press charges at this time. Is this a big deal? Do we care?
If he hasn't pressed charges, I mean, how many times have you slapped somebody in the back of the head recently?
Never, because I'm not a violent person.
Okay, Dave.
All the time. Lots of times.
Exactly.
You guys really slap people in the head? Like, that's pretty shitty.
I mean, it's been a
No, I
minute,
don't
but
slap anybody. Yeah, it's been a while.
No, but okay.
nobody's pressing charges on me, just like Tyreek Hill. So
when the whole Kamara thing came out and they're not pressing charges and yada yada yada, all that, remember that was kind of brushed under the rug for a little bit, and all of a sudden it came back. I'm not saying this one will, but man, this isn't the first time Tyreek's been a problem or has caused problems or has been in trouble. I'm just saying this could be a future problem with Miami Dolphins. I don't think it will be, but just this only news. It's a slow news. I don't like talking OTA stuff. It's all meaningless to me. Do you guys agree?
Yes, 100%.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, if the guy's not even pressing charges, then the NFL might slap him on the wrist, but for what is it?
Conduct
detrimental to the league.
Yeah,
but
it's just not a good look.
He didn't get a suspension for what he did in KC, so
which is insane. Which is totally insane. I can't believe that nothing happened. Nothing happened out of that. Totally insane.
So,
but let's go to the mailbag. We got a bunch of questions. Dave has no idea. Justin knows all the questions, and
you act like I didn't read all your little questions. Like
I asked you in this before. I said
you said, "Am I ready? Do I have them written down?" No, but I remember exactly what I read like 20 minutes ago.
That's pretty good memory. I couldn't do that. At Joe Baskin Robin on Twitter asks, "What player would you rather have over the next 5 years? Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, Josh Allen, Marvin Harrison Jr."
Don't even say the last one because that's ridiculous.
If Justin Jefferson tore his ACL today,
it's still not Marvin Harrison Jr. It'd be Chase over him.
No, but
that's not part of the question.
He's not in the scenario,
so it still wouldn't matter. I'd still take Bijan over him. I think.
For 5 years?
It also depends on if it's a super flex. So then you take Josh Allen, I think.
Well,
so I did have additional questions for Josh Baskin Robin. Is it super flex?
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
There's I mean, that's really the major question because Josh Allen would be that guy. He's been since 2020 he's been QB1 twice and QB2 last year. Justin Jefferson has been wide receiver 6, wide receiver 4, and wide receiver 1 in his career so far. I did go back to college stats over the last 2 or 3 years, depending on which player you're looking at. Bijan in 2020 would have finished as RB26 in the NFL through only 6 games. That's how many points he would have scored if you translate college stats to the NFL. In 2021, on 10 games, he would have been RB5 in the NFL, only through 10 games. He scored 258.2 fantasy points per game. Or not per game. Good Lord, that would have been a lot of points per game. 258.2 over the season. In 2022, he scored 328.4 points, and it would have been RB3 in the NFL. That's pretty impressive, especially with only playing a total of 28 games in 3 years over his college career. Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm not even going to count 2021. He only played 5 games and had 11 receptions, 6 of which were in the Rose Bowl. But in 2022, he would have been wide receiver 7 in the NFL. So it's interesting enough. 2021, of course, he played with Jackson Smith, Najigba, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. So he was 4th or 5th wide receiver on the depth chart. So I don't like to count that against him. But
so you're telling me you're taking Bijan?
I mean, ball don't lie, right? So Bijan has the youth. If the only thing I worry about over the next 5 years is, obviously Jefferson's going to get his money, and sometimes money kind of, I don't know. Nah. You don't have the same kind of production, but I would be between Justin Jefferson and Bijan.
It's simple for me. It's Justin Jefferson, and there's no other question. Now, you're right. Superflex does change it, of course, and Josh Allen might be that guy, but if you're doing a startup, if I know I've done a startup with Dave, I've done one with you, Justin. You Justin, you value quarterbacks more. I've seen you do it. You grab Josh Allen, you grab Patrick Mahomes, and you won a damn league.
In a super flex.
Where someone like me, I always take the skill players, unless I'm like a top 3 pick, then I'm trying to trade down. But I'm always trying to take the skill players, and I like to get these dirty quarterbacks later, like a Derek Carr, the ugly quarterbacks that nobody wants, and just pair them up with other quarterbacks in the future. So I'm taking Justin Jefferson because the guy's just money. I mean, I just posted that CBS article that he's about to overtake the Chicago Bears leading receiver of all time just for 234 more yards. That's ridiculous. The guy's unstoppable. He's uncoverable.
I would definitely agree with you, especially in Superflex. I don't know. I would almost go Jefferson. I have Jefferson in the Superflex league as well now. Actually, I traded Josh Allen for Justin Jefferson.
But Dave, would you consider?
I would take
Harrison?
JJ.
Hold on, I'm going to ask you this question. Would you consider Harrison? I'm just going to throw a scenario out because to me, Harrison, you're losing a year, so you only get Harrison for 4 years. That's why he's not even in the conversation. But if he was guaranteed to go somewhere with Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or a top quarterback for the next 4 years, would that outweigh that losing that 1 year?
No, because how does that outweigh when you're getting Jefferson's 24, dude? Like he's not 28. So I'm taking Jefferson over Harrison. Yes. No, I get what you're saying. It's just to me, even having him in this conversation is ridiculous. Just because he's not even in the NFL yet, you don't know what's going to happen. What if he gets hurt in senior season? Like there's so many what ifs. The other 3 are I think the RB1, QB1, and wide receiver 1. So I think that's like okay, you can argue those.
I think Harrison being in the conversation is odd because he hasn't even played his junior season yet. So I mean, he could stay in college after next season. I don't think he will, but he could.
I would take Chase over Marvin Harrison right now. Like I mean, you're getting 2 young stud receivers over. Yeah, like there's so much that could happen in college. Like you say, he can get hurt. Like you don't know. I mean, he's not going to stay next year. I'm not worried about that. But that just having him to me is ridiculous. The other 3 I think are good, are fine.
Even if we want to compare him to JSN sophomore year, 1,600 yards. He had a huge season, and then his junior season, he played in 3 games. So he could also get hurt, but then there's so many factors for Harrison to really factor banking your future on him. Now with the 1-0, he's probably going to go in the first 3 picks if he has another season similar to what he did in 2022.
Yeah.
Am I going to use a first round pick on him? Probably.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing is we were just talking about this. Oh, that could be a top 3 pick. There was a trade I kind of turned down, and Dave's like, well, that could have been a top 3 pick. Caleb, Harrison, whoever it may be. Yeah. And this is more of I brought this up because more of a Twitter and hype thing. We always hype the next class. These guys are going to be better. These guys are going to be better. So we've been hyping up all these guys, JSN, all of them for like 2 years now. No class ever lives up to the hype unless it was that CMC class. That class was pretty awesome. That class was amazing. Everything else is like always top guys and then man. That's and we get caught up in this mess of we got to get the 101 next year. Trade anything for it. No. Chill, guys. Let's get the guys we have now and let's play fantasy now and worry about next year. That's
the guys trying to get the 101 for next year are probably the guys that are not.
No, their team sucks. So. Yeah, exactly.
Call it how it is. Unless you purposely try to make a trade with the weakest team in the
which is what I'm trying to do in all my leagues.
And he's probably going to have the 101, which I'm not going to lie, I do. Then, so maybe next year I have Justin Jefferson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And then we'll really see who I'd rather have.
All right, Justin Jefferson swept the board. That was pretty easy. All right. At the Pru Patel, who's in one of our dynasty leagues, asked, rank these running backs for dynasty who are all the same age, which blew my mind. I forgot Najee was this old. Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, see, I forgot Najee was that old, and I was like, is Josh Jacobs really that young? And I was like, oh wait, no, it's the other way around, isn't it? Oh,
so hold on, Dave. I need your opinion first because I think I know where you're going to go. And I think you're wrong. So rank them.
Well, I know you love Ramondre, so you're probably going to have him number 1, which is wrong.
Don't worry about my list. What about your
I'm not
list?
worried about your list. Your lists are always wrong. I think I don't like none of these guys. I take that back. I like them all. I don't love any of them. I don't know. I think I'm going to take Najee number 1. I think I would take Jacobs number 2, and I think I take Ramondre number 3.
Oh man.
I think those two are the last two I would flip. You can flip flop, but I think I'd take Najee number 1. The other two are real close.
Justin, rebuttal, because you have a shocked face on and I don't know if it's shocked because you think Najee shouldn't be 1 or Ramondre shouldn't be last.
I can't believe you took Ramondre last. That's what I'm shocked about. No, in my rankings that I published a couple weeks ago, Najee was my RB10, Josh Jacobs is RB11, and Stevenson was not that high up. So I also had Harris, Jacobs, and Stevenson.
So why are you shocked?
I'm shocked you put Ramondre over Josh. I thought you were going to take Josh Jacobs 3rd and Stevenson 2.
No, I'm smarter than that. Come on.
Okay. Well, so you guys are.
This is why we win leagues, Dave.
I know that.
Hold on. So what it comes down to is safety, and we all know Najee is probably the safest one out of all these. He doesn't have competition. He gets all the volume there, but the problem is he gets 0. He's not as talented as the other two, as in he can't create yards. He relies too much on that volume. So what happens when he's just getting touches for 2.7 yards per carry? Who gives a crap, right? So that's why I'm taking Ramondre. Ramondre, number 1 for me in this group, because he does have more years with New England, and he is the number 1 guy there, and he is getting all the targets. He'll get more targets than Najee Harris will. Period. Number 1, he'll get as much goal line work. He'll get as much red zone work. Sure, he fumbles one time. Pierre Strong's back there. Whatever. I doubt that will happen.
And then he finishes RB55.
Call back. Now it comes down to Najee, to me, and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is playing on a franchise tag if he signs it. Not really a clear future. We see these running backs dip off fast. We've seen the rise and fall of Todd Gurley. Apparently, he's being drafted in Dave's league startup. There's multiple things that happen with these running backs on a franchise tag. So I'm taking Najee number 2 and Josh Jacobs 3. All right. That was it?
Sounds good. Sure.
All right. Sounds good. No rebuttals. All right. At FF Calculator asks, is Jonathan Taylor a top
I'm not answering this question.
3 dynasty?
I'm not answering this question.
You have to answer the question.
You have to answer the question.
I'm not answering this question.
You have to answer the
question. It's a ridiculous question.
Ridiculous is in duh, or ridiculous is in
I'll let you guys talk, and then I'll tell you if you're wrong or right. This is not even debatable. This is the dumbest question I've ever heard of.
Look, we date running backs. We don't marry them. So the fact that Jonathan Taylor was number 1 last year, everyone's saying take him last year.
Oh, it was the start of last year. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
To some, not all. He was the number 1 consensus running back 1. And then now where is he at? He's fallen so far down. Look at your redraft. He's going in the bottom half of your first round of your leagues. It's insane. Look, go draft an underdog. And you'll get him at 12th. And no, I'm all for getting him at 12. When I'm zagging and I'm grabbing the running backs early this year, especially if it's Jonathan Taylor. But the problem is we have these incoming guys. You have Bijan Robinson who already catapults him. Now look, is Breece over him? Is a healthy Breece over him? He's going to catch more passes. He's on a better offense.
Okay, I agree with that.
They're going to score a lot more touchdowns. So Breece could make an argument. I'm not saying he is, but he could make an argument.
I was more wincing at is a fully healthy Breece better than a fully healthy Jonathan Taylor?
For
Jonathan
fantasy,
Taylor didn't play full 17 games either last year.
He's going to get more of the targets, which I love, and for my running backs. Now you're looking at the third. Now is Jonathan Taylor that third guy? Most likely, yes. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. So Dave, can you think of anyone that can combat this at all?
First of all, I was thinking Dynasty, because that's what we mostly talk off in the off season. And Dynasty is automatically top 3.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Then that's not. 3. It's not even debatable. Again, like I said, it's literally not debatable. So there's no way you can put anybody besides Bijan and Jonathan Taylor, and then probably Christian McCaffrey as the top 3 players.
So you don't have Breece. Last year you had Breece.
I love Breece Hall, but I don't have him over Jonathan Taylor. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
he's probably 4 or 5.
I have Breece at 4. I have JT at 3, And I don't want to be a homer here as a Colts fan, but he's still young. This year he is in a contract season to get that big payday the next year, which I still hope he doesn't. I hope he gets like 12.5 a year. He's had one injury in his entire football career. And that is affecting his draft status, especially for redrafts, on how people are evaluating them. They only saw he has points for 11 games, but because the Colts only won 4 games, they're not really on national TV that much. They're not really in the spotlight, so people don't really see, unless you owned Jonathan Taylor, unless you rostered him, you don't see that he only played in 11 games. You just assume he played in 17 games and finishes RB 33. So
doesn't it come down to, for running backs, you want targets, you want who's going to score points. What does Jonathan Taylor not do? He doesn't get targets. He does, but not enough. Not enough to be
the RB1.
Look at his
the year before last.
Who was his quarterback last year?
It's been 1 year. Can we not act like the guy is dead because of one bad year?
CMC finished as RB 38 in 2021.
I'm not saying he's dead.
It happens.
I'm not saying he's dead, but what I'm saying is, in this, even the year he was the running back one, he struggled a little bit, just a little bit, not too much. You can easily say
struggle all he wants if he's going to be my RB1. I don't care.
You can easily say CMC is ahead of him. You can easily say that.
In Dynasty, I don't have him there.
I don't either. I have Taylor 3. I'm not saying that he's not 3. I'm just, you have to.
So then who's your top 2 if you don't have Christian McCaffrey over him?
I have Breece ahead of him. I think Breece is going to be stellar.
I think Breece, but I don't have him.
And then I have Bijan 1. I think Breece is going to be phenomenal in that offense.
Breece is good.
Before he went, look, if Breece didn't go down,
he was freaking balling.
This conversation would be different. I promise you that right now.
You might be 100% right. Okay, either way, he's still top 3. So every list we're talking about, he's top 3. That's
the answer to the question is yes.
Well, yes,
like
we said yes.
We all said yes.
Question. But hold on. It's not ridiculous, because all of a sudden, what happens if Jahmyr Gibbs balls out? What happens if Dan Campbell grows a brain?
Guess what?
And he starts
There's
using
lots
his
of things
players.
that could happen.
Exactly.
Reports right now are that Montgomery is going to get most of the carries and volume.
Of course he is. Of course the reports say that. That's Dan Campbell. But the point is this, Dave. Running backs are awesome in 2023. and 2024, they're forgotten because it's a revolving position, revolving door. One in today, one out tomorrow. So that's why you don't even draft them high.
That's right.
At DizJiz, picked it just for the name. 12-team Superflex redraft. Great. Dave said this question didn't deserve to be here either, but the name deserves it.
Oh, this one's awful. Well, I'm not answering this question either. I need some smart people.
So you don't want to. So you don't want to help the people that need help, that have asked questions.
Ask the question.
This isn't even debatable. What are we doing here, people?
Ask the question.
12-team Superflex redraft. I get to keep one. Jamar in the 4th, Geno Smith in the 9th.
This is so dumb.
Come on.
It's not that dumb, guys. Listen.
Yes, it is.
It's Jamar.
You're not even talking about a good quarterback. You're talking about Geno, who was really good last year. But you're not talking about like an automatic, like, I know I'm getting a stud. That's what you're saying. If I'm keeping a quarterback, he's a top 5 quarterback. Geno Smith isn't. You're getting Jamar Chase in the 4th round. He's a top 3 pick. Game over. Done. Next question. Why do we waste our time?
We're not wasting our time. We're helping out DizJiz. Now, some people are new to Superflex. Dave, how many leagues did we have to convert to Superflex in the past 3 years because they wouldn't do it? And now we did. That's who DizJiz is. He's a guy who's converting into Superflex.
Now you know,
has
buddy.
No idea what's happening. So you're going to go ahead and demean him. Now he's not going to click subscribe and like I like you guys to.
Yes, he will, because I just gave him advice, and now he's smarter. He's smarter for it.
You guys just call him idiots. The whole point of the show is to help people, Dave. So yes,
I helped them.
The point is this.
Mr.
Hold on, the point is look at the values. Jamar Chase is a first-round talent. You're getting this much. You're getting 3 rounds value. That's awesome. Geno, you can draft him in the 9th. He will be there in the 9th. You're getting 0 value. So that's why we're saying this is kind of a no-brainer. But I understand you're afraid. You might not have quarterbacks. You might go, oh, everyone's taking quarterbacks early. I might as well get mine. That's not how it's going to work.
I don't care if every other team took 2 quarterbacks.
Yes.
I'm still going to keep Chase. That's how much I'm doing. I don't think
Jefferson.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Jefferson's not in the question.
Oh, that's Jamar. I even read this question wrong, and it's still the right answer. So it's still Jamar Chase in the 4th round.
It is.
Like I said. Give me something hard.
Okay. Josh Wingate in the chat says Jonathan Taylor is less than
Josh,
Tony
get your
Pollard.
Cowboys like
Can we stop acknowledging dumb comments like Josh's?
Damn. Anyway, our
If you
producer.
ignore them, they'll go away. I promise you.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Trust me, you don't go away.
You don't go away.
That's true. I don't.
At Bobby Finstock asks, which top 10 player in the fantasy draft circles would you not touch in fantasy football this season?
So we're looking at not Superflex, right? Or are we doing both Superflex?
The way I look at it is the top. If you look at ADP in a redraft league, who's getting picked in the top 10? Your Jamar Chases.
Do you have the ADP in front of you besides Superflex?
I don't have the ADP.
I have the list that Justin sent, and that can't be real.
I'll get the ADP in front of me. You guys talk.
I have nothing to say.
Of course you don't.
I don't have any
question.
Why would you
draft a Viking and like Josh, get out of here. Fantasy football ADP. Haters. Listen, I mean, you guys can't think about. Look, you got Jonathan Taylor up there. You got Jamar Chase up there. Stephon Diggs. You have probably
Eckler.
Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Eckler.
I mean, what I'm seeing is like Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry at the end of the top 10.
The guy I'm not touching is Lamar Jackson.
He's not in the top 10 though.
Well, depending on what list you're looking at.
For Superflex, he obviously is.
So,
Superflex, yeah.
Let me clarify, okay? I'm not talking dynasty or any of that. I'm talking like the average Joe, because you guys are way past me, and I've said this to Josh before. I didn't know anything about dynasty or anything. I'm talking about like, okay, we're at work.
Just regular draft
league for this exactly. And let's say I have, I've got top 10 pick, whatever that may be. If there's a player falling, I have the 10th pick. He's there on the board. You're like, hey, Bobby, do not touch that guy. Even though he has all the hype, this guy's not the guy to get. Who's that guy?
All right. So ADP version. Okay, I got the ADP in front of me now. So thank you guys.
There
we go.
So ADP for PPR. We're going full PPR. 1, Justin Jefferson. 2, Jamar Chase. 3, Christian McCaffrey. 4, Tyreek Hill. 5, Cooper Kupp. 6, Travis Kelce. 7, Stephon Diggs. 8, Austin Eckler. 9, AJ Brown. 10, Bijan Robinson. 11, CD Lamb. 12, Garrett Wilson.
I like all those players.
I know it's hard to pick one.
Wow.
But which one would you stay away from? I know
one. I'm not going to say no is a bad pick because it's honestly a great pick, but I would not take Kelce that high. If he's worth it, he's 100% worth it. I just don't take tight ends that high.
Not in the first.
That being said, it's so high, but he's always worth it. So I don't know what to say. Besides him, I don't know. I think all of those. Man, I'd be really. Now that I think about it, I want a lower pick. I want to pick low because I like all those guys. I want to get 2 of them, to be honest.
Yes.
I really do like them all.
Jonathan Taylor is ADP 16, by the way, mid-second round.
God, that's low.
I love
Dude,
that.
if I'm sitting at 12 and I can get like Garrett Wilson and Jonathan Taylor, who was at 13, 14, 15?
Why am I picking 13, at 7?
Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, and Jalen Waddle.
Oh, I'll take Jonathan Taylor. I'll take one of the receiver and one running back. I mean, I want the 12th pick now that I think about it.
Where's Amon-Ra? Where's he at on the list?
He just said 13, I think.
13,
back to the question. Here
that's who I'm avoiding.
So the question pretty much is if you're at 10 and these guys someone's falling to you, that's tough though, because I was gonna say CMC at 3, because I just said I might avoid running backs, especially that high, because you want a for sure thing. Cooper Kupp is kind of for sure. So is someone like a Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown. Christian McCaffrey that high to me. I've done it before. I said it last year. He was my 101. Last year I didn't do well. He did well. Christian McCaffrey did well, but I didn't like my team after, a lot of the season. I just went running back heavy and a lot got hurt. I'm just afraid to take running backs in the first round anymore. I'm done. Like I'm just finished with doing it.
Especially with the elite. I mean, there are. I feel like there's more elite, like actual elite wide receivers than there were 5 to 10 years ago for fantasy wise. Because you wanted a running back. Like first 10 picks were running backs practically, and then you get wide receivers after that. And now I feel like more wide receivers are going than running backs these days. If I had to pick in that list, Cooper Kupp, because of the quarterback situation, that entire team situation right now, he is like the only target for the Rams, and he has an old Matt Stafford and a old Stetson Bennett as his 2 quarterbacks.
I think John, I mean, you're right about running backs. Like I get it, but that being said, if I can get, there's about 5 guys I really really like, and I would really like to get one of those guys and pair them with a stud receiver. So if I can get Bijan, Taylor, Brees, Christian McCaffrey, Eckler, like those 5, and there's, maybe somebody I'm missing. If I can get one of those studs and get a super good receiver, man, that's really freaking good, man. Like that's the way to start the draft right there. The more I think
So
about it, I really want a lower pick now.
hold on. I do want to preference this with this. We've been doing this for a while now. We've recording for 5 years. We do off-season shows every single year, and we always say, I'm especially in this month, June, July, ADP will move a lot. I remember pounding the table for Cam Akers will be a top 12 pick because he was outside. He was moving up every single week, moving up. ADP changes throughout the whole summer. So most likely some of these guys will be dropping down. Some guys will be going up. I don't see Jonathan Taylor staying at 16. I just don't see that. That's not possible in my eyes. And I don't see Garrett Wilson staying at 12. And I don't see CD staying at 11.
Garrett Wilson
I love
can't
those
go
guys.
up anymore.
He can't. But exactly. There's only ways but down. I see Saquon Barkley rising and Jonathan Taylor because people do when casuals.
I did not realize Garrett Wilson was going that high.
When casuals get in there and start drafting running backs,
they start drafting running backs, and then these ADPs will shift. So all we can give you, Bobby, or at least what I can give you is, don't get locked into a player you have to have.
Or a position.
Draft the best player on the board. Don't go, oh, wow, well, someone took CMC, JT, and this guy, and all they have left is Bijan. So be it.
Take Bijan. I love Bijan.
Of course, I love Bijan too. But what I'm saying is if there's a better player out there that you prefer, take the better player. Don't just take a running back because you have to have a running back. Don't take a tight end because you have to have a tight end. It's ridiculous. So that's what I would do. Stay away from running backs in the first after I just said all that.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Next question. Oh, at Jake's Football. I can't see this in real life because I don't subscribe. Ask, will CEH pick up where he left off? As in, will he still suck? Is this a Pacheco question, Justin? Is that what you put in there?
This was not one of his subscribed tweets, by the way. I don't subscribe to anybody on Twitter.
Sorry, Jake.
This question was more of, will he continue to pick up where he got hurt last year? So last year, I did not have this ready.
Wasn't he super bad? Like no matter what?
No, not at the beginning of the year.
He was good.
Beginning of the year, he 22.4, 15.8, 14.9, 22.4, and then he fell off for a couple of weeks and then got hurt. So he had 4 really good weeks, and then I think Pacheco came in.
The thing is with CEH is it's over. If you're not,
it is.
We've seen this. We've seen this before with running backs. If you don't hit in the first 2 years, you don't hit. You're just done. And that's kind of what's going on with CEH right now. I'm sure Dave can understand or agrees. CEH is not rosterable or draftable in any league. I don't think he is.
He is because he's on that team and he's going to probably get a chance, but he's not somebody I'm like targeting at all. Somebody will take him and I'll be like glad that they took him.
It's like,
I think Jerick McKinnon was the best fantasy running back last year from that team. That's crazy.
Yeah, Pacheco came in week 11 and started scoring double digits each week. And Jerick McKinnon was that filler for at least 2 weeks.
Jerick
McKinnon was a league winner at the end of last year. He was going
off. 34 points in week 15.
He was going off late in the year.
Jerick McKinnon and J.D. McKissick will be the freaking death of me. Those 2 players. They killed 2 of my fantasy players, Antonio Gibson and CEH, just like that. Like they just killed them. I can't.
Maybe draft better players. How about that?
Maybe I will. Maybe that's how you win fantasy football. You draft better players.
Be good in the draft.
That's what I try to do.
I'm gonna try it. All right, last one. This was from nobody. How do you approach the tight end position? How do you draft them? High? You want Kelsey, Dave? You already pretty much gave your position away. But do you want that locked and loaded tight end, or do you want to wait and just play the streaming game?
Yeah, I want Kelsey, but I don't want to spend the first round pick on him. Again, he's worth that much. Like he's gonna outscore every other tight end. I just can't do it because I think, especially where he's being drafted up there with those guys, we just announced them who they are. I can't take him over some of those guys. That being said, I like to get the next tier down. Andrews, Hawkinson, Goddard, if I can. But they're going even higher, I think, than I really want to spend the pick on. If I can get one of those guys, which I don't think is going to happen very often, because I think or even Pitts, I'm still holding out hope that he's not complete piece of shit. If I can get one of those top 5-ish guys after Kelsey in the 5th-ish, 6th round, I'd be happy with that. If not, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and keep on waiting. And then keep waiting even more.
I'm looking at ADP now. Mark Andrews is tight end 2 going 30th overall.
That's 3rd round. That's too high for me.
That's too high.
He's good, but it's too high for me.
TJ Hawkinson's going 50th overall, tight end 3.
That's what? Beginning of the 5th round?
Yeah,
right? That's not bad.
That's not too bad for someone
like him. That's actually really good.
And Kyle Pitts is going, George Kittle's going tight end 4 at 61.
I forgot about
Kyle
Kittle.
Pitts is at 69 overall tight end.
See, if I can get one of those guys into like 6th round, I'm happy with that.
This is a freaking joke. Dallas Goedert, tight end 6, 75th. I'm taking Dallas Goedert.
Dude, I love that spot for Goddard. That's crazy low for me.
Yeah, that's crazy low. Justin, what about you, man? I don't know your style of tight ends.
I roster Travis Kelce in 2 of 5 dynasty leagues, I think. Both times I've had to get him in the 2nd round. Too much. Kelsey's that one player I will draft in the 2nd round, that one tight end, but this might be the last time I do that. Andrews not before round 3, probably even round 4. Hawkinson round 5. After those 3, I'm gonna wait and just take better skill players that are gonna score me more points.
I go back and forth. One league I'll go, okay, I'm taking Kelsey or I'm taking this person. In another league I just like to have fun and diversify my leagues rather than just if you take the same players in every league and they all suck, you're just gonna have a terrible fantasy year.
Yep.
So I do like to diversify things and try to make every team a little different and unique. Scott Fishbowl, actually, I have the 101 in the Orlando live draft. Spoiler alert! I'm announcing.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm announcing it. I'm taking Kelsey 101.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No,
Shocker.
Yes, I am.
Okay, 1, well, I'll be there, so I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay,
I wish I was going to be at that draft, man.
A lot of people are. I'm in the 101 chat. I know what's going on. Kelsey's a big time like scorer in that league, but that's a different league.
I would say that's different also.
It's a different. Yeah, you're right. So I'm in a new league, redraft league with all my buddies, all of them. Davey, who used to be on the show, everyone. We started a whole new league. They want to get rid of the tight end position and have it optional. I think.
First of all, I'm not in that league, so apparently your best friends aren't in there. Wow. Well, wow.
Danny doesn't like you, so.
Fuck Danny too.
No. Cut that part out for me, please. No, they're actually trying to cut out tight ends and make it optional. So
that's
it's the
lame.
Tight end. It's the worst. Isn't that the
it's
biggest?
So
like, isn't the biggest?
It's
like
a cop out.
Yeah,
yes,
cousin
100%.
Try to tell me to make the tight end position just a flex position, and I was like,
no. So we're in a league like that too. One of our dynasties is like that, and it's so dumb because there's a clear advantage to drafting a guy early. Kelsey has that advantage. Like some of these guys have that advantage, and if you don't want to take one high, then don't take one high. But then you have to live with the results. Like I choose to do that every year. I really can't ever take one high, and I have to make it work somehow. That's just part of the game. Like you can't take tight ends out. It's like we're playing with kickers and defenses. This is a legit position. Like,
if you don't want your players scoring 15 plus points a game, you're gonna have to settle for 8 points a game. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Or you try to draft young later in the rounds and hope that they're gonna pop off. But
people, like Field Yates is a big person on this. He loves this idea. I've heard him for years say it. It's the dumbest thing because just tell me you're not good at it. Tell me you're not good at finding anyone not named Kelsey or these top guys. There's a skill to it, and people could say, "Well, there's a skill to defense." No, there's not. You don't know. You don't know who's going to fumble the ball. I won many of games, and lost many of games on a last-second fumble because they're
lateraling around. Yes. Like that's not talent. That's
Great prediction, buddy. But I can tell you that Arizona sucks against the tight end, and that tight end will score a touchdown. And guess what happens? They score the touchdown. So that is a skill you can actually acquire, whereas kickers and defense are a joke. The people that analyze defensive kickers, you found
they have nothing better to do.
You found your niche. Congratulations. Your work is meaningless. I'm sorry.
Nobody cares. That's why they're
is.
literally eliminating the position because nobody cares about it.
Yes, but tight ends, it's a different. Let's just tell me that you don't want to.
You can't tell me that they don't matter when you have a guy that's going in the first round. Like, has a kicker been picked in the first round? Maybe in a crappy league because some idiot doesn't know what he's doing. But like legit, no. Same thing with defenses. But like Kelsey is a difference maker. So Mark Andrews a couple years ago, George Kittle a couple years ago. Like these guys are difference makers. If you don't want them, then wait. But you have to live with the results like that. You can't. I mean, you can. I just think it's really lame. Just make it a flex position.
My rebuttal to that is
weak.
I don't want to draft running backs anymore, so get rid of them.
Yeah,
but that's just my rebuttal. Like, so I just don't want to do it. So I just don't. I can't find a running back that stays healthy. So
yeah, why
get
not?
rid of the position.
Just make it all flex position.
All 10 positions, all flex, all super
all
flex. Start whoever you want.
That's it.
I waited 15 rounds to draft a quarterback, and I didn't get a good one. So can we get rid of that position?
Get rid of
just screw it. Just take them all out. That's it.
Take all players in fantasy football. Just don't play.
Don't play. Yeah, we're not
best
play.
Ball, super flex, every position, super flex, best ball. So I don't have to make any decisions at all.
No decisions.
I don't do anything.
It's 2023, baby. We live in a world where we don't do anything. We push a button and food comes to our house. We want to do as less amount of work as possible. But we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. We're taking this one home. You can follow us on Twitter again at Josh Kimball OUS, at Viking David 18, and at Justin Bowerly. More importantly, follow our at Fins Talk Sports Network. You can find us on YouTube. Please join the conversation like our buddy Josh Wingate did all show. I'm not answering any of your questions because you're rude, Josh. But until next week, guys, we'll be back with more fun. Justin, you have our topic for next week?
Oh, you would ask me that right now.
That's your job.
10 seconds.
Your job. 10 seconds.
We're
doing 10-second players. Oh, we're going to be breaking down which.
Okay, I got it.
Of these. Okay. This too. We're going to be talking about this graphic as well.
Actually, Nick is literally would you rather. So.
Oh, next week. Yes. Next week is would you rather. We're going to come to questions with would you rather this or that. So follow us next week. Again, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Bobby, play our music.